r/AskReddit. People who pooped on the bathroom floor in high school. Why? Someone just destroyed a bathroom at my middle school I work at. It doesn't punish the school, a teacher or a principal. It punishes the custodians, who happen to be some of the nicest people you will ever meet. I'll never forget walking into the bathroom in high school and seeing the janitor cleaning a massive shit out of the urinal, just sobbing. There is a mystery suspect making a mess of the bathrooms at my business right now, not a school. Grown-ups, work here, throwing used toilet paper on the ground, pissing all over, wiping poop on the toilet paper dispenser. They go to the bathroom with no cameras outside. But despite that I've still narrowed it down to one of about 12 people. I'll catch you eventually. Update. It's been completely quiet, so nothing to look into since that post. I think my original post made it seem like this is playing out on a faster timeline than it is. It hasn't been a daily thing. Just 4 or 5 times over the last few months. Honestly, if it just stops altogether that would be fine with me. If an exciting for anyone following this. I'm pretty sure this is somebody with some mental health issues. If the activities just stopped without a satisfying resolution, I'd assume they either started to get their head straight, or they quit, got fired for something else, and this would just be a side bonus for that. If anything further does come of this, I'll make a point of making a post somewhere to update everyone. For the same reason people knock over a garbage can or plug up the sink. It's a small act of antisocial behavior. I worked in a movie theater as a teen. Right in the middle of the bathroom floor someone dropped one of the largest turds I've ever seen. The main log was incredibly dry and about the width of a Pringles can. I still debate to this day whether the poor bastard shat that out real time, or multi-shat in an actual Pringles can and then dumped it on the floor. Given the size of the log, the time it would take any normal person to squeeze such a massive Grogan out, and the absence of blood, I'm leaning toward the Pringles can theory. Edit. Thanks for the awards and opiate poop education everyone. My chemistry teacher told us a story about a student who I'm positive was an old god of law. He took a shit in a cabinet of the most hated teacher in a high school of 3,000 students, and that old dunt let it sit there for weeks. It hardened to the cabinet, and the only reason it got taken care of was because a student someone reported the horrible smell. Why? Because she told him he couldn't go to the bathroom. No reason given. Saw a kid urinate in a trash can in the corner of the classroom once because a teacher wouldn't let him go to the bathroom. Pretty sure the teacher was right and the kid would have just went to the cafeteria to hang out. But he felt challenged when the teacher said no. I guess. Kids. Okay, it wasn't a bathroom floor. It was the floor of a laundromat at an apartment complex at which I lived. I was 12 and got home after walking from school. But dad hadn't gotten home yet, so I was locked out of the apartment. For the record, as a kid I didn't shit at school. Couldn't. So now I didn't know what to do. But I knew the shit was coming. I tried holding it in, I promise. I moved around. Tried occupying my mind with other things. Tried running. Next thing I know I'm in the corner of the laundromat shitting on the floor. God, I'm so ashamed to admit this even 15 years later. I have nightmares about the cleaning staff or the unlucky tenant just trying to get their clothes out of the dryer and coming upon a steaming hot shit right the duck there. I try to convince myself that they all must have thought it was a dog. But I remember, that shit was distinctly human. It haunts my soul. So this is slightly off topic but relevant nonetheless. When I was young I went to after school care at a local rec center. One day I was there and went to use the bathroom. I was taking a leak at a urinal and I kept smelling shit and I figured someone had just took a huge dump recently and that's what I was smelling. So I finished up peeing and getting ready to go wash my hands and just happened to peek at the ceiling. I'm sure at this point you understand where this is going. But directly above where I was peeing, there was a turd stuck to the ceiling. A few months ago I actually walked in on this person literally taking a shit on the floor. We were the only ones in there. It was a couple of hours after school had ended. I really didn't know what to do and was still for a few seconds before she started frantically talking and said something about it being an act of defiance or something and was saying she hated the school. I kinda just laughed it off for a second before leaving and going to another bathroom. I didn't say anything to her teacher because I think she was a 9th or 10th grader and I don't know her name. Definitely an interesting part of my education. On my first deployment, Someone took a massive shit in one of the toilets and covered it with an entire roll of toilet paper and it stayed like that for days. Then someone shit on top of that first layer and covered it with another huge wad of toilet paper. About 2 weeks later someone added another layer of shit and toilet paper, effectively creating a shit lasagna. Eventually it all disappeared. I'm not sure how, but I just know one day it was gone and the madness was finally over. The very first night of my first time at Bonnaroo Outdoor Musical Festival, me and the guys I was with walked past a porta potty that had a literal shit mountain piled up probably a good 8 to 10 inches past the rim of the seat. Like multiple people had decided they would add to this shit heap. And when I say first night, I mean the only thing going on was getting people parked entered into the grounds. It wasn't even 10 o'clock at night. Needless to say, my friend who had a problem with porta potties beforehand lost his ducking mind and ate an entire box of Imodium. It did not end well. Sophomore year of high school, a bunch of friends and I were drinking at this dude's house. We'll call him Greg. This was our first time drinking more or less and we were just chilling, having few drinks. We were playing GTA and Greg walks into the bathroom, comes out a few minutes later, and sits down. Soon someone else goes into the bathroom, comes back and asks, almost like he's trying not to laugh, "Did someone take a shit on the floor?" We all get up to investigate and sure enough, there it was, a big, slunking turd presented to us in the center of the cool linoleum like it was on a silver ducking platter. We laughed ourselves to tears, looked up, and saw Greg sitting there. He is trying his absolute best to not start laughing, but this is the funniest shit he's ever seen. I ask him between my laughs, "Did you shit on your own bathroom floor?" To which he replies, "Yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be pretty funny." In our high school the refried beans literally looked like poop, so I once put it on the bathroom floor as a joke. It resulted in many angry Facebook posts. Are refried beans not supposed to look like poop? This question needs upvotes. I honestly need to know what is going through the minds of these individuals. Haha, it happened in my town and I thought it was just a freak occurrence. But I saw a comment thread today where everyone was sharing their someone shit on the bathroom floor stories. Must be kinda common. Problem with questions like these is everyone is gonna be pissed off at anyone who answers truthfully. It wasn't in high school, but when I was a young kid out, public library was the spot to go to meet up other kids to walk around town. The security guard was a notorious a-hole who would make groups of over 3 kids leave because of gang activity. After a few months of this going on, a few of the groups of kids would shit on the floor in the bathroom knowing he was the one that had to clean it. He didn't work there much longer. There was a tradition in my college freshman dorm that someone would shit in the hallway trash cans on move out day, supposedly to get the freshmen out faster. I suspected it was our but ugh, what a way to end a year. I had a kid at my school draw in his own fesses. He was a little disturbed, but not in ASD group or anything. Only reason someone found out was because he went back to class and wiped his hands all over the whiteboard, which was pretty vile. I was in high school, maybe middle school, but we were in a local park in my hometown where we always hung out and played games, airsoft, and other random stuff. I had to take a shit real bad one day and I couldn't make the 3 block or so run to my grandparents' house, so I sucked it up and ran into the park bathroom. I had a massive turd 90% of the way out of my ass when I realized there was no toilet paper anywhere to be found. So I shifted a bit and dropped that large turd right there on the cement floor. I haven't really thought about it since then. And now that the memory came back to me a decade later thanks to this question, I immediately regret it all. Edit. Sorry, 14-year-old me didn't think logically and not shit on the floor. If you think what you have to comment wouldn't persuaded me either way, then IDK. Prayers your way. Clearly this wasn't my peak, so lay off, you buttholes. And does shitting on the floor mean you don't need to wipe? I take it you were already sat on the toilet. I need context. A lot of it. Climbing on top of the stalls to play Bombardier. Sometimes we missed. What the Kentucky Fried Duck. Edit. Wasn't expecting gold for this, but thank you to whomever gilded me. Malice. Sheer, relentless, unadulterated malice. Not entirely related, but we once had a rebellious kid smeared Vegemite across the walls of the bathroom. The VP had all the male students assembled in the hall and he yelled at us for about 10 minutes about how there was feces on the bathroom wall and how the cleaner had to suffer cleaning it up. Needless to say, it did not take long for word to get around that it was indeed Vegemite. I once took an insane amount of cough syrup during my high school philosophy class. The teacher decided to show a movie that day. Duck in Great Right? Nope. 20 minutes in I got the strongest urge to just throw up everywhere. I didn't even ask the teacher to step out, I just straight up left and rushed towards the bathroom. I remember throwing up at the very entrance to the bathroom, leaving a trail of puke leading towards the toilet where I proceeded to regurgitate half my body weight. Fun times at Coral Park. I can answer this question. One of my brother's friends pooped on the floor of the bathroom while my brother and his other friends were outside the stall. Apparently the guy sat down on the seat like normal, but with his left cheek on the right side of the toilet seat. He said when he saw the poop hit the floor it was the funniest thing he had ever seen. Later on, one of the janitors was heard saying, "I just can't believe it. I don't know how it happened." I saw someone did this on my school's bathroom floor, and all I know is what horrible person would do this knowing a janitor would have to clean it up. Also, my school's janitors are the nicest people, so highly doubt it was someone doing it to get back at them. My time to shine. My junior year of high school boyfriend shat on my driveway and flipped an empty flower pot upside down and left it under there. I discovered this when him and his dumb friends dropped me off, laughing, and asked me what was under the flower pot. Cue me, oblivious and naive, lifting the flower pot in horror, stunned as they laughed at me looking at literal human shit. Cool way to break up with a girl. S. I had a friend who pooped on the sink of the school bathroom because he needed to shit real bad and all the cubicles were occupied. Someone shit in the middle of the hall at my school once. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.